one of my recent quick hitters, I was talking about why blacks commit suicide, and I'm primarily just getting into the fact that that hasn't been happening all the while. That's some stuff that's just been happening recently, the last 25, 35 or so years. And I know that Proverbs chapter 3 around verse 31 says, or whichever, 30, 31, 33, whatever, it says, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. And maybe because some blacks have seen other people do it and so they gravitate toward that as the only way out. But I'd like to make a reference to Ezekiel chapter 16 where it says that God is speaking to his people saying, your birth and your nativity is from the land of Canaan. Your mother was an Amorite, your father was a Hittite. And what I'm getting at here is, we were just talking about how that, it's 80% of characters in the canon of scripture were of African descent. And Canaan and Ham, those are all African folks, y'all. Anyway, again, but he said, they were the ones who were left out in the open field. They had to fend for themselves. You can find all that in Ezekiel chapter 16. They had to fend for themselves. No one washed them. Nobody watered them. They didn't have anything on their own. And it just kind of makes me parallel that with how that blacks were taken against their will, shackled hand and foot, stacked on top of one another, put on these ships, crossed a hot ocean 6, 7, 8 months on the ship, and they had to just defecate and urinate and everything else all on one another, and people got sick, they just threw them overboard, and some of I'm telling you, some of the worst things had taken place in the lives of these people, and they come over to the United States of America and some of the things they've contended with. But that scripture in Ezekiel chapter 16, God said, I put it in your blood, I spoke it in your blood to live. In other words, you don't die, you don't give up. It's in your blood to live. And so they went through these hundreds of years of slavery and so forth, and all the torment and the treachery, all the torture and the things that black people have contended with, yet they're still here today, rising up in every occasion in the political arena, and in athletics and science and medicine and every venue, every avenue, aspect of life you can imagine. They're still here rising because God said, I spoke it in your blood. Live. Live. You don't die. You don't quit. You don't hang yourself. And we don't kill ourselves because somebody leaves us. We don't kill ourselves because we can't pay a phone bill. You don't kill yourself because times get so hard. Do you know what your forefathers went through? Do you know what's in your blood? God said it in your blood. Live. That's what we got to do. Live.